What is up, everybody? Today I want to be talking about a subject that I guess a lot of people might be wondering nowadays that the game seems to be in a little bit of a decline, and that is Raid Shadow Legends worth playing in 2025 or even starting it if you're a new player and just interested in what it's all about? So let's go ahead and find out. Before we go any further, please go ahead and check out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. It's going to be allowing you to get yourself massive amounts of bonuses whenever buying anything in Raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide, right? So just as you are buying a pack normally and regularly, you're going to be able to get a massive bonus that can go from extra 10% of your amount of money you're spending all the way up to extra 35% of that much money. And the good thing about this whole thing is that once you have enough of the bonuses, you're going to be able to use them to make the payments for you instead of actually using your real money, right? So you are saving up in further purchases in the future. We'll talk more about this whole thing at the end of the video. For now, let's keep going. Now, I started playing this game very recently myself. In fact, it's only about almost 4 months at this point that I got into just playing daily Raid Shadow Legends, and honestly, it's been a blast. I've really been enjoying the journey so far. It does get a little bit tedious with everything once you get to being able to do the same thing every single day, right? It gets a little bit repetitive, but overall the experience is damn satisfying, right? Once you do get to know a lot of the game, because there is a big barrier to entry when it comes to basic knowledge, which is kind of necessary to feel yourself putting your time in something that is worth, and I'll get to that in a moment. If you want to join my team in Raid Shadow Legends, click the link in the description to get a free Narma as well as Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. Here's what you need to do. First of all, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then click the link in the description and register a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial, and then go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get a fresh start in Raid with a free Narma and 3 epic champs. Click on my link right now. You are going to be feeling like you are progressing in many avenues once you get a new champion and you start learning how to build it properly and you put it into a team and make it work, and you find yourself getting to places where you were not before, hitting new damage thresholds on the clan bosses, beating new stages on the dungeons, being able to rank up in PvP. It all feels great, but it's a game that's really tied to a lot of knowledge, and it's clear as day that it is a very pay-to-win game. You are able to buy yourself out of literally everything if you so desired. You will be able to put millions if you so desired, and therefore be able to just be number one if you so want. But it mainly comes down to knowledge that is going to be making things feel worth, right? And what do I mean by this, right? But you're going to be met with a lot of situations where once you do learn a lot about the game, you're going to be feeling like, well, you now know that what you're doing is not optimal, right? There's going to be an optimal way to basically go about anything. There's going to be events, certain times during which using your resources is going to be the most optimal and the most efficient way of really just going about playing the game. And as soon as you start learning those things, right, I figure out there's champions which are absolutely trash. There is champions which you must have to be able to approach things in a certain way. There is straight up just going to be ways of playing the game that are going to be right, and there is going to be ways of playing the game that are going to be wrong. And once you realize that, you're going to be getting pigeonholed into a way of thinking about the game which becomes a little bit more restrictive, right? I just enjoy logging in and going about my day and seeing what I can upgrade that day if I am anywhere closer to being able to try a new champion. I'm going to be pulling something that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to be getting enough resources so I can upgrade some skills today. But no, you are going to just be farming day to day, doing your daily chores, and more often than not, that's going to be it. You're going to be going through a rotation where there's going to be no fun involved, and it's only going to be a matter of optimizing how quickly you can get those chores done, so that whenever the time comes around and there's an event, there is a clan versus clan, there is the right, I don't know, a double chances of summoning, whatever, right? Whenever those key things are in place, that is where the fun begins. And I am now in that process where I was totally ignorant to these kinds of things during a long time, and as I'm watching more videos and I'm getting more acquainted with the game, I'm just realizing that I was doing a lot of things wrong. I've wasted resources, I've bought things with my actual money that I shouldn't have, I've bought them at the wrong time, which feels even worse because, well, now you're being told that whatever you did was inefficient, and no matter what fun you had, now it's dwindled down by the idea that what you did was slightly wrong. And that is the main issue that I have with the game. It is really enjoyable, and of course it is gated behind a lot of resource accumulation and time invested into it, and all of that can be offput with money. But even then, once you do really find what you need to make something happen, you will be restricted by the time, and that you basically are not going to be in the right situation because you're going to be needing to wait for an event or whatever to be even extra efficient. Yes, all can be offset if you're going to be not caring about any of this because you have enough money, or you just don't care enough about the game to really be bothered with all of these restrictions, which are really arbitrarily, because you're just like setting them for yourself as the community are following along, right? Everybody is supposed to be doing these things in this way because, well, it is the most optimal, and we don't have unlimited resources and unlimited money to be putting into the game, so we can completely ignore these certain realities that this is a game about min-maxing. Really, it's about min-maxing efficiency, getting the most resources in the least amount of time possible, as well as with the least amount of investments possible, whether that be energy, silver, or any other thing you will put into this game. Now, this has sort of been the case for this game, as I can tell, forever, right? It's a game about efficiency, it's a game about min-maxing. That's never really changed. But things are getting a little bit more egregious as time goes by, and it's been really apparent lately in the last Fusion event, where there was just a lot of stuff going on. And what I mean about that is, like, if you are trying to get something done in the game, and you are bombarded with different situations which sort of mean restrictions between each other. Let's just say there's a bunch of champion chase events, as well as champion training events, as well as, more importantly, events where you're going to be spending a lot of energy and gems, like Fire Knight tournament, together with a Dungeon Divers, and then upcoming there's an Ice Golem tournament and stuff like that, right? It all lines up together to be a situation where your choices are going to be, you know, this is going to be so many things to choose from, right? What do I want to be investing both my time, because it takes a long time to get these things done, and unless you have like speed cleared builds or teams which just can get things done real quick. As you can see right here, we've been 5 minutes on this Ice Golem because this is the best that I can do, right? It's easy enough, fast enough, but not the greatest. I'm gonna be having to leave my phone running for ages if I just want to be getting these things done, right? So you kind of have so many options here. You want to be spending your silver on this event or saving it for the next one so you can actually get it done, so you can actually get the pieces for the fusion. And then back to back, we got another event where it's sort of the same. You gotta be participating in all these kinds of events, which honestly, they don't really feel like events. They feel like slot machines, but you need to be grinding, right? You need to be grinding those slot machines for them to actually give you what you want. And those slot machines are just like the events, the tournaments. You need to be putting all those resources into them enough so that eventually you will be reaching the goals, right? It just feels like you are missing out on things as well, because these fusion events are time limited, and unless you really knew yourself how to prepare ahead, which it kind of comes with the learning curve. Maybe this was one of the first fusion events where it was a little bit tougher on the resources, where you had to be really far ahead. I don't know, a couple weeks of saving up stuff, really, just so that you could get to that point and be ready to spend away your silver, your gems, your energy, your refill potions, everything, and actually get the event done without feeling like you are really constrained and you were not ready beforehand, right? And that's kind of the point here. I am more often than not feeling like I should not be using anything at all every day, right? I should not be literally doing anything with my silver. I should not be fusing my champions, leveling up my skills, which is kind of the fun of the game. I should not be doing it. I should be waiting until the time comes around to actually do it right, because it's going to be the most efficient, or even worse, I'm going to be missing out because I will potentially not be able to finish up the events, because at this point it's not just about getting extra resources, or rewards rather, it is about not missing out on the key components, which you need to be getting a free champion, or a champion which is going to be very exciting, everybody's talking about, it's kind of easy to get if you prepare ahead, and I just didn't, right? So missing out on those kind of things feels really frustrating, and I think a lot of the community's response to this kind of situations is like, there's just way too much of that stuff going on, to the point where you are just saturated with efficiency management and denial of fun until the very right key time, where it gets to the point where you don't even feel rewarded for what you're doing. You're just feeling like you've achieved a goal, which it was more like a chore and an actual job than just playing a game. So I think my kind of thesis here goes to the point where if you really care about this game, you will need to be following along those mindsets, otherwise you will eventually be feeling bad. But if you just approach it as some sort of casual gacha, which you do enjoy because, well, getting a new champion is cool and flashy and putting it together in some gear that feels right, even though it might not be the most optimal, it's okay because, well, you're getting some fun out of it, then that is a game you are going to be enjoying. And that is kind of game that I want to be enjoying myself. If you get to the nitpicky meta chasing kind of, I want to be one of the better ones, not the best of course, it's a pay to win game, but at least be able to compete with people here, get access to PvP endgame content, which is a whole other subject on itself. The barrier to entry is just way too high and very difficult to actually even feel rewarded by participating. Then if you're able to ignore all those things and just find enjoyment in the sheer simulation of battles and getting your guys to fight each other and seeing things die, then it's going to be a fun experience. If you've made it all the way up to the end of the video, I really encourage you to check out Aptoide. It's going to be allowing you to get yourself bonuses whenever buying anything in Raid Shadow Legends through Aptoide. Those bonuses can go from extra 10% of any amount of money you're spending in the game, all the way up to extra 35% of that much money. And the good thing about the bonuses is that you can then go ahead and use them to buy the things for you instead of actually using your real money. So you're just going to be able to save up in further purchases as you are buying things that you would otherwise be buying anyways in the game, right? You can find out how to set it up on your Android devices like a PC and BlueStack Simulator, or just your Android phone very easily by following the link down there in the description. And if you go ahead and use my code, which is going to be somewhere up here in the screen, and input it into the Aptoide wallet, which again will be all explained about how to set it up down there in that link, then you're going to be able to get an even bigger bonus from the get-go, flat 5% bonus for literally ever. Just put it in there, and here in the wallet you will also be able to see your purchase history as well as how much bonus you currently have accumulated. So that's literally it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. See ya.